okay? Each listing is like having a line in the water. The more lines in the water, the more opportunities you have to catch fish. So today, Sandee is going to be teaching us how to get 100 listings in 10 months because she's done it, right? She's active in the industry, and I actually looked at her Zillow profile last night. Let's see if we can pull it up. She has 55 active listings on her Zillow profile. Is this something we can learn from? Can you agree? All right, everybody, well, please stand up, put your hands together, and welcome to the stage, Sandee Payne.
All right, hi, everybody. I want you to just stay standing for a second while you're up. I promise I'm not going to make you do Catholic events here, but I want you all to give me permission today. I want to hear from you all. Do I have permission to be honest with you? Yes. Is it okay that I might say some things that kind of hurt a little? Yeah. They become a little real, okay? Because I'm not here to sugarcoat this, because this is no joke, okay? So I want everybody just shut your eyes a minute. Take a deep breath. I need a deep breath because this is so fun and exciting. So deep breath in. Slowly let it out. Because today is the day your life gets to change. Okay? You can have a seat. I'm going to grab my little clicker here. I've got a long time to talk to you. So I want to make sure that you guys stay alert and aware. So if you can take pictures, that's great. You can screenshot, that's great. But I am going to talk about not just how to get 100 listings, because a lot of us know a lot of those tactics, but there were a lot of other things that had to happen in order for that to happen, right? This is what I want to leave you with today. I want you to understand the math behind predictable listings. Johnny just said it's so unpredictable, right? We don't know what's going to happen. People die. People are living in houses. I want you to be able to understand how to predict your listings. I want you to understand the lead pillars that actually convert, not like are fun, but the ones that actually work, okay? I want to talk about your follow-up systems that you can use to build trust. Because we all know in this business, people do business with the people they know, like, and trust. Trust being that big final decision. Listing appointment strategy is the win, because it's one time to get to the appointment, but who would like to win every single appointment you go on? Right? And I actually want to help you create a higher standard of what you're capable of, because we're not working to our full potential, and I want to help you understand how you can actually find that in yourself. Because the business that you want, it's going to require a different version of you. Because the version that's sitting in this chair today is probably not the version that's going to be needed to become a dominating listing agent. And this mic will bug me, but we'll make it through. Okay. Quick question. Way back to your childhood, what did you want to be when you grow up? How many firefighters do we have in it? Yeah, I love those firefighters. How about teachers, nurses, doctors, professional athletes? Okay, astronauts maybe? How many realtors? Okay, we don't grow up wanting to be a real estate agent. Okay, that's usually not the first thing out of our mouths when we're 5. Okay, but you all are sitting here today because you made that choice at some point in your life. I wanted to be a professional ballerina from the time I was 5 years old. I was sitting in the little waiting room. My sister was in the ballet class. I was sitting in the waiting room, and I'm over there doing all the things, and she's clunking around, and I'm doing them perfect. And the instructor said to my mom after a year, "I think you have the wrong one." I think that's the one that's supposed to be in this career. And so I'm happy to say my family poured into me for many, 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 many years. Being a dancer, and I'm going to ask for permission to cry. Okay, because this is life-changing stuff. Before real estate taught me sales, dance, or any career, athletics, whatever you get into, it teaches you discipline. So we all, at some point in our lives, through our childhood, strived for something that needed discipline. But sometimes our lives change when we least expect them. Anybody have like some crazy thing happen in your life? Right? Got pregnant when I was 18. Senior in high school. Catholic high school. Okay, that was tough back then. My dance career ended. Ended. And that was a really tough time in my life because now, what was I going to be? From 5, I was a professional ballerina. I had no idea what life was going to hand me. I lived through that. I don't know how many of you were like back there in the 80s, but in the 80s when you were pregnant at 18, wasn't like, go girl. It was very different. Your life was different. Your family dynamic changed. It was very clear to me, my parents made it very clear how much they poured into me to be a dancer, and then I took all that away from them. Anybody feel like they've disappointed people? So we're all in the same situation. That's my boy. He's gonna be 36 next month. Is that crazy? The best gift I ever got. Believe me, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. So I get into real estate in 2014. So just kind of a quick preface. I do life, single mom. They supported me, went to college, got jobs, blah, 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 got married a military officer. We traveled the world for 23 years, ended in Texas, which is where I come from today. It's our home. It's our home. We've built our homestead there. But when my husband was on the verge of retirement from the military, I was like, what am I going to do? I had raised kids. He went to war 8 times. So I had a lot. It was hard to keep a job, when your husband leaves you for a year at a time. And I got into interior design and decorating. It was a passion I had. I loved it. I love style. I love fashion. I love home. I had moved my family all over the world. And I had to create home. I had to create an environment for them to hang on to no matter where we were in the world. And it kind of just became like a natural skill I had. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to help military families move. I'm going to help them sell their houses. I'll help them stage their houses. Never in the beginning thinking real estate, but just thinking, I'm going to do what I love to do, and I'm going to help military families because it's just what I created. Wound up getting my license in 2014. And yeah, it's a fun picture. Anybody ever look back at like your first headshot picture? Terrible. At this point, I had an interior design business. I had started a business and I ran it for 7 years. And I was doing a lot of work for custom home builders, for staging companies, going in and just doing those nice staging consults, like be the bad guy for a lot of real estate agents. And I'm collecting, a tip, and y'all are getting the real estate agents were getting the big checks. But I felt like I was doing all the work in the presentation, right? So when my husband decided to retire, I said, I'm going to get my license because now I have a niche. I'm doing something I know other real estate agents aren't doing, and I'm going to turn that into what my real estate business does. And unfortunately, buyers don't really care about the decorations. It's the sellers. So I walked into this industry as a listing agent, period. How many of you identify with being a listing agent? Not a realtor, a listing agent. Okay, a few of you, yeah. It's a different title. It's a different mindset when you can actually structure your business around being a listing agent, not just a real estate agent, okay? Along the journey, I joined Tom Ferry Coaching. Everybody's familiar with Tom Ferry. I was in this program for about 9 years. Any Tom Ferry people in here? A few of you. Okay, cool. You might have been there. Were you there at that moment? Okay. That's what a Tom Ferry event looks like. And that's me on the screen on stage. And we were talking about listing attraction strategies. So not just winning the listing, but how do you get the phone to ring? How do you get the listing in the first place? So we talked about brand and identity and all of those things. And then at the end of the presentation, Tom turned to me and he said, you want to make a bet? Now, when Tom Ferry says, do you want to make a bet? What are you supposed to say? Yes. Okay, so I said yes. I didn't know what the bet was, but I had committed to a yes. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, I'm going to stand on stage and say no to you, right? And he said, well, I'm going to bet you $10,000 that you cannot list 100 homes in the next 10 months. Oh my gosh. I was like, okay. And he's like, all right. I'm like, all right. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? How many of you would have like ran, right? That's terrifying. Terrifying. Possible, but terrifying. Very possible. Because if you can get one listing, you can get 100. Right? It's not that you can't get them. You're just not getting enough. It's just numbers. So I took this bet in front of about 8,000 people, and I came home to my husband and I said, guess what I did? Yeah, how did it go on stage? I'm like, great, I made a bet with Tom Ferry. He's like, because he knows what that means. What did you bet? I said, $10,000. And he's like, okay, what do you have to do for the $10,000? And I said, I'm gonna take 100 listings between this event and then the next year, which was 10 months, and I'm gonna win $10,000. And he says, okay. Now, I know the question a lot of you have, how many listings was I doing normally, right? 40, 45. So I was a listing agent already, okay? So I'd had to double that. Okay, double that. Now, if you're doing 2 listings and you double it, not bad. You're doing 50 listings and you have to double it, that's scary. Okay? But I told him, he said, are you gonna do it? I said, heck yeah, I'm gonna do it. I know I can do it. I believe I can do it. So we talked through what that might look like. Now, I see a lot of you have paper, and I want to give you a little reality check here about what this looks like. On paper, or on your phone, on a calculator, whatever, I want everybody to participate. I want you to write down or type in your average commission check. Now, I don't know what it's like down here in the 80s, but I'm like over in Texas, and my average price point home is $285,000. Our luxury is maybe $450,000. Okay? So I want you to write down yours. What's your average commission check? And I want to hear a few of you comfortably shout that out. What does that number look like? Just so I understand what who I'm talking to. 2.1. Your commission check. 18,000. I was like, I'm going to go work with her. 18, 20,000? 15 to 20. Okay, at first I was going to move to California because the weather is beautiful. My hair looks so good and it's not frizzy. Now I'm going to move to California to compete against you guys for $20,000 checks. Anybody ready for that? Okay, real easy. Times that by 100. So if you're writing it down, that's just add 2 zeros. You don't have to struggle. In your calculator, times by 100. Now what is that number? Shout it out. I want everybody to hear these numbers. Is anybody under $1 million? $500,000. Okay. But most of you are over $1 million. Have any of you ever reached that number? Okay, a couple of you. Now, under that number, what I would like you to do is I want you to write down 3 things that would change when you brought that much money home in the next 365 days. I don't know if we have, I'm assuming we have no music. No journal writing music. I really want you to think of this because this has to land with you so the rest of this presentation actually makes sense to you. Did I do something? How would your life change? Who would be involved with those changes? Who could you help? Get your parents out of retirement or put them in a retirement home, whichever direction they're headed. Put money away for your kids' college. Pay off your house. Buy 10 investment properties. Go on that vacation that you've always dreamed of in a private jet. Not first class. Like, what would change? I wish I could see what my next, there you go. All of that you're writing down, it's possible. It's possible. I did it. So you don't have the excuse if nobody does that. But the biggest question, and I want you to kind of think through this through, what version of you is required to own that number, to own that life? Because we sit in a space of doubt. That's not for me. That's not possible. I don't deserve that. And that's what stops us from going after things. So whatever your story is, whoever didn't believe in you, whoever you disappointed, that ends today. Because you get to choose what version you become. Now, I'm not here to be a motivational speaker, but I did ask you permission to get a little personal with you. So today we're going to talk about more so becoming the person capable of holding that. Because the money wasn't the hard part. That came with the listings. The money comes with the listings. The hard part is becoming the person capable and deserving of that number. Okay? Is anybody feeling like, I want that number and I'm ready to do what I need to do for that number? It's only good from there. It's only going to be good. Like, there is no downside. A little more work? Sure. Sharpen up your skills? Absolutely. Win the appointments you go on? Absolutely. But that's all doable. It's ourselves that are going to have to make that change first. So I went through this exercise with my husband, and we planned those magical vacations and paid for them, prepaid for them, booked it all, made those commitments, made the commitments that you wrote down. I made them to the people that I wrote them down. I wanted to get my parents out of their forever home, get assets out of their name, get them into another home. I said, at the end of this year, I'm going to buy you a new house. We're going to get you out of this one. We're going to downsize you and put you where you need to be. It's called accountability. Massive, massive accountability. Because now it's not just an idea you had in your head. If I make $1 million, I'm going to whatever. But if I don't say anything to anybody, then I don't have anything to prove. Sorry, this is getting me. Okay? So, I had to have a goal, which obviously I had a goal. I had to have accountability. I had 8,000 people in the Tom Ferry ecosystem watching me. I don't know if that's accountability. You have, I don't know how many people are here. We'll call it 200, roughly. I want you to all look around. Look at your friend. Look who brought you today. Look at your Tom Dave, right? Isn't he like the number whatever? Right? I want you to lock eyes with somebody. This is going to be your visual commitment. This is your accountability. God, okay, if it's really that weird to lock eyes, pick somebody else. Quickly, before anybody notices. Okay? Everybody's got their person? Everybody's got their person. Before anyone leaves after this talk, I need to make sure you at least exchange contact information if you don't already have it. Because you're going to have an accountability person for the next year. Okay? This isn't your team lead. This isn't Brent. Right? This is somebody who cares about you because they brought you here today. You came together. You're doing this journey together. And iron sharpens iron. Right? Nobody wants a dull blade around them. You don't win that way. You win by sharpening each other, holding each other accountable, rising each other to a better standard. Okay? So what I did is I said, okay, I have 8,000 people in this ecosystem. I'm going to get on there. I'm going to share the next 10 months of my life with these people. Because they're all sitting there just like I was. You're all sitting there just like I was. Some of you work from home. Some of you work in an office space. You're surrounded by people or not. But I wanted to show everyone that if I can do it, you can do it, regardless of your circumstance. Because no good story is good if it doesn't resonate with reality. I work from home. I sit in my office every day. I don't have anybody around me. And I've learned to hold myself accountable because I've set the goals that I have in place. And here's the kicker. I've built the systems to actually predict it to happen. Okay, we're going to get into that today. I got on social, there's a lot of social media stuff. I had a big 1 to 100 on my door, and then I had to write the name every time I got a listing, celebrated it, shared it. Because here's the thing, guys, you're all working for one next listing. You're only I say only. You're only working for that $20,000 paycheck. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I had to work my ass off, people, guys, for $4,000. Okay, your mentality is only working for that one paycheck at a time. You need to be working for that $1 million paycheck that's just not written yet. It's just not written out 100 times. We're not rising ourselves to the standard of being a million, 2 million, whatever your number was, listing agent. We're sitting in a sea of one commission at a time agents. And that's not where you win. That's not where mastery takes place. That's where hope happens. So there's a difference between just taking listings and becoming a listing agent. So a lot of you go into your real estate day and you're just wonder what's today going to bring. You react, right? You just act on whatever it is that's coming up, a transaction or an email or whatever you have to do. I don't want to say wing it, but you just kind of wing it, right? We hope that the phone's going to ring. And we're constantly chasing leads, chasing. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. When you're a stronger listing agent, you're prepared. So everything's planned. You know the situation, you know how to run the plays, the whole diagnosis, you have it built in. You're leading people to you. You're not chasing them. They're coming to you. And you follow such dialed in systems that, your phone just rings. And I kid you not. But the biggest player is confidence. We're not confident because we're confident. That's not a personality trait. Confidence is because you're prepared. Because you're a master of your skill. You can confidently speak on it, act on it, win it. That's where confidence lives. Okay? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, decide which category you're feeling like you're in. But we're probably all, majority of our time, kind of sitting in that wing it space. And that's okay. Anybody have it so dialed in, you want to trade spots with me? Okay, so we're all winging it. Great, love that. Okay. A couple truths about listings. Now they're crazy. I know that Johnny went into a bunch of stuff, but here's the thing. They're not luck. Listings just aren't lucky. They're mathematical equations. And I know my commercial people are loving this. They're like, yes, no emotion, just math. It's the truth. It's the truth. Money is math. calendar is math. The clock is math. We bring our personality to the math table. Okay? Your habits define you. We're going to talk a little bit more about what some of those habits may or may not look like and some new ones for you to start trying. Because you are a mirror. You are a mirror to what your life is like. You're a mirror to your business. You're a mirror to your clients. If you are not showing up for you, what is it you think that looks like to everyone else? Trust out the window. They might know you and they might like you. But if you don't trust yourself to be that listing agent, they're not going to trust you. It's a vibration. It's an energy. Do you ever walk into a room and you're like, I don't like that person. Like, you didn't even give him a chance. Or you walk into a room and you're drawn. You're like, oh my gosh, I love that person. You're like, well, let me go over here and introduce myself. We live in an energy world. When I walked into this room today, I walked in with energy. If you saw me walk in, there's confidence. If you hadn't seen me till I got up on stage, when I walked up on stage, confidence, energy. If I was like, hey guys, I listed 100 houses, you'd be like, I'm out, right? I don't believe you. What you would say is, I don't believe you. And then I have to live in that proving space again, right? So we're a mirror. If you want to change, you have to change. That's the truth. Buyers, sellers, parenting, partnerships. If you want it to change, you have to change. I could be done. Okay? Everybody's ready to change? Who's ready to change? If your hand is down, put it up. Okay. If you're looking at your phone, you ready to change? Okay. All right. I think I was getting the guy in front of you, so poke him. This one. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now we're all on board. We're all on board. Beautiful. All right. I'm watching. I'm seeing who you are. Lead generation is easy. Who agrees with that statement? Lead generation is easy. Do y'all get like Zillow leads? You get handed any lead? Nobody gets leads? I like where this industry's going. They're like, Zillow, no, and all that. The lead generation is easy. I'm going to show you. The generation is easy. And if you don't think it is now, I'm going to help you understand that it is. The problem, the skill, comes in the nurture and the follow-up and the relationship. See, we think a lot of our clients ghost us. Oh, I called them and whatever, and then they ghosted me. I think you ghosted them. How many of you have in your CRM? Okay. How many of you have a CRM? Let's start there. Okay. How many people are in that database? Shout it out. 2,000. These are nice round numbers. That's good. I love that you bring one in and kick one out for two. That's good. I like math. This is my math brain going on. Okay? Thousands. Right? We can go with thousands of people. Do you know every one of them? So you have a list of potential people that somehow, God willing, gave you their information and you never used it. Lead generation is easy. 2,000, 3,000, so you have them. That was the easy part. However you got them, open house, however, filled out a raffle form, like whatever, however you got them into your database, congratulations for putting them in your CRM. That's huge. That part is easy. Did they fail us, or have we failed them? So we have a nurture follow-up problem. Okay, we can fix that. We can fix that. Everybody hold up your phone. Everybody? Where's my guy? He's playing now. He's playing. Fixed. Problem solved. Why is it so hard? Y'all did it real easy. Now do this one. Right? Just turn. You just gotta turn your hand the other direction. Okay? That's for the video people. I'm a videoer. I will send you video messages all day long. I actually prefer that over like talking. I love putting like humanity and like my personality and like my face in front of people. They like it. In the age of bots and spam, isn't it nice to see someone's face? Truth. Trust. Someone's face says it all. These are little tweaks. These are just little tweaks that you can do in your business that you're already doing. You just need to tweak things a little to make them actually work. KPIs. Blech. What a boring acronym. Anybody know what that means? Key Performance Indicator. He's my A student right here, sitting in the front. Key Performance Indicator. This is what you did all day. In other words, what did you do all day? Did you pick up the phone today and call anyone in your database? Or did you look super cute to come see me today? You went and got your coffee with your besties, right? Did anyone prospect yet today? Okay, a couple people out there, they don't have a bestie or they don't like coffee, right? We have to think about our day and what we're doing every day. Are we a listing agent, or are we just a real estate agent? Because we all said we're going to change, so that's changing. This is the math. I want you to 100 listings. I know that sounds like total a lot, right? That's a lot if you look at that big picture. But your KPIs are going to help you understand if you're going to hit that goal or not. So tracking. Oh, I'm gonna sound like your coach or your, yeah? Is that okay? Can I coach you, train you, lead you? No offense to any team leaders in here. I'm just saying, you're in here, so I'm gonna teach you too. If you're not tracking what you're doing, how do we know what's working? We don't. At any given time, you should be able to tell me exactly how many people you called, how many conversations you had, how many appointments you set, how many appointments you went on, and how many agreements you signed. Not rounded, not a round number. An actual number. Because if we're not willing to actually keep track of what we do all day, because we're just winging it, we're never going to understand what parts of our business are broken. Because we think we're doing a lot of things. We might be busy. Here's an example. How many open houses did anyone do in, what month? May so far. How many open houses did you do? 25 open houses? Who's that person? No, each person. Between you all. Okay, still. Round of applause. That's a lot of open houses. If you said
4 of our agents did 120
collectively. Okay, question for you. You kept track of that. And you know exactly how many people they talked to.
I go
Okay. That's KPIs. That's what a KPI is. Performance indicators. If I perform, it's indicative of me resulting in X. If we're not keeping track of what we're doing, we don't know what's coming. Like pipeline. You see what I'm saying? There's no prediction. And if you only did 2 open houses and you're like, they don't work, go join that team. I think they think differently. So you've got to understand you need 10 listings a month. This was my math. You have to know how many conversations you need to have in order to set an appointment. You have to know, of all those appointments set, how many of them actually you went on, how many of those people canceled when you tried to confirm, and how many of those actually signed with you. I needed 2 to 3 people signing every week. I did not want to make 5,000 phone calls with terrible scripts, never asking for anything. I needed to be dialed in. Because I needed to not just go on these appointments, I needed to sign them. Big difference. I don't know about you, I don't like to lose. I don't like to write a check to somebody else. That $20,000 check, like if you walked in and I'm like, I'll only give this to you if you can get them to sign. Or I'm going to give it to your competitor. That's a mindset shift, you guys. Are you walking into, are you preparing for, but let's just say, are you walking into that listing appointment like $20,000, baby, right here. I'm going to perform with confidence for that $20,000. Because then we question, why are they questioning our commission? What do you do with your money? Why do you have to get paid that much? I make sure I walk into that listing appointment like 20,000, that's it? That's all I have to give you to do all that? I'd give you more if that's what you needed. We walk in guarded, unconfident, uncertain that that money is for us because we know deep down we're not deserving of it. We're not running our businesses like we deserve it. I don't know about you, but there's people in this country that make $20,000 in a year that work 10 times harder than a lot of us in this room. We have very easy pathway to change our lives. Because I promise you, if you went and got that person who was hustling for $20,000 a year and put them in your job, they would be so hungry. So 2 to 3 listing appointments a week. Not bad. That's more attainable. So Monday was, how many days ago was that? 4 days ago. How many appointments did you set on Monday to go on a listing appointments? How many did you set on Monday? 2? Anybody else set appointments on Monday? Okay, let's go to Tuesday. I'm trying. How many appointments did you set on Tuesday? 0. 1. How many appointments did you set on Wednesday? What did you do for the last 3 days? And I say that like, it's like funny, right? It's funny, but it's true. Your job as a listing agent is to go get listing appointments. We've just been pretending for the last 3 days. I want everybody to look at that number one more time. Look at that number you wrote down one more time. And if you went home today and you said to whomever is on your list of people and lives and partners, whatever you wrote down, and if you were to say, I owe you an apology. The last 3 days, I've pretended to be a real estate agent. I looked like one. I posted on social media like I was a killer one. But that college you want to go to, it's not going to happen. That retirement home you want to move into, I'm sorry, you're going to have to pass on that. We're not owning the capabilities that we have, you guys. We have what's called non-refundable time. Non-refundable time. How long does it take to dial a phone number in your dialer? Let's just take away the doot, doot, doot. Go find the payphone. I mean, I'm not asking you, go find a payphone. Oh, shoot, now you got to find a quarter. 2 quarters. I saw a payphone the other day. Brand new payphone. It was 50 cents. Who has 2 quarters in an emergency? I don't know about you, but that's how you're treating your real estate business. I can't pick up the phone because it's a payphone and it needs 2 quarters, and I don't have 2 quarters. That's what we're doing every day. We're so afraid of the thing that's going to make us the money. Why are we afraid? We don't know who to call. We don't know what to say. God forbid they say yes. I don't even have a listing presentation. Like, what is the reason we're not picking up the phone? So you're standing between yourself and yourself, the old you and the new you. This is your gap right here today. You get to stand in the middle of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we've got Thursday afternoon and Friday to be a little bit different. So when I sat down at my desk that next day, I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? Right? It was kind of like that 100 listings. I was committed. Anybody want to make a $10,000 bet to list 100 homes that you've never done it before? You have to have never done it before. On your own, no assistants, no TCs, nobody. You. Oh, I missed that part. I forgot to talk about that part. I did it by myself. Did I have a team? Yeah. Did I have a TC? A really good one. Did I have an assistant? Absolutely. But if I didn't do it by myself, I wouldn't be believable by the people sitting in this room today who don't have a team, don't have an assistant, don't have VAs. You're sitting in your house trying to make a buck. So I said, I'm going to take the challenge and rise it. I'm going to do it by myself. That's different. That's different. Now who wants to make a $10,000 bet? You're like, hell no. Right? There was a lot of work that I needed to do in my business. Because when I sat down and I said, okay, let me really grasp this thing. Okay, I need 2 to 3 listings signed this week. Okay, where am I going to get those, right? So first, okay, who have I already talked to? Who are my low-hanging fruit, right? Low-hanging fruit, right? Every lead system, every lead source has a nurture timeline, right? We all know that, expired yesterday, right? Low-hanging fruit. Past clients that maybe you went on a listing appointment and they just never listed, or you don't know if they listed because you stopped following up because they probably sold their house 3 years ago and you don't even know. Okay, so every nurture has a timeline. So I said, okay, I need to figure out what I need to do in my business today to get those appointments this week. And I also need to know who am I going to go on listing appointments with in 9 months. Who needs to be nurtured for 9 months? Because I needed 2 to 3 a week for the next 10 months. So that's prediction. That's future pacing. That's called planning, strategizing. There were things I had to do today and then things I had to be ready to do in 9 months, or to do for the next 9 months to get that next opportunity? Okay, like open house, like, how many of you do open houses all the time? Okay, cool. Do you do them because you're hoping a buyer walks in? Now this is California, it probably happens. Everything's different. Or do you do open houses to get another listing? Okay, good. I love hearing that. Yeah, open houses for me, like, I don't care. All open houses I've done, I think one buyer ever bought the house that they actually walked into. My open houses are, I'm auditioning for the neighborhood to be their listing agent. Okay? These are the lead gen source. I know it's kind of small. Oh, it's small to me. It's bigger than that. Right? The dead files. Do you remember that first picture and I had like this stack of manila envelopes? You can tell how old I am because I like still use manila folders. You youngins with all the digital, I'm like, I wouldn't even think I had anything to do all day long if it was all digital. That stack, I went back. The first thing I did, I call them the dead files. These are the files that, like, the opportunities that you had that you never did anything with. Like sellers you never did anything with. In that time, I was in the business like 8 years, so I probably had, 600, 700. I mean, it's like Home Light, Ojo, like all these seller leads that are pouring into you from everywhere, and you write them down somewhere or you put them in your database that you never do anything with. I had hundreds of these. I had manila folders in banker boxes categorized by year of all my client folders, and then my dead files were all like the ones that I didn't do business with. They were still in that box. I went into the garage, I got all of those boxes out, and I pulled every single one of those files out. My stack was huge. And I looked every single one of them up on the tax district to see if they sold. Let's just call it 700. I'm going to round it. 700. How many do you think already sold? Like over 500. Times my average commission check. My fault. How many of us are sitting on potential sellers that have probably sold, right? But I said, okay, I have 150 phone calls to make of people who still own their house. They still own their house. I get to call them. What am I going to say? Yeah, this is going to be awkward. Hi, remember me? I said I was going to sell your house, and I never called you back. Yay, you still own your house. But surprise, your equity's gone up. Now do you want to sell your house? Right? It's the bear. It's this. It's getting here. That sometimes is the most uncomfortable. And I said, what do I have to lose? Because if I don't call them back, it's another no. I look for the yeses. I don't even care about the no's. I am dialing for the yes. I'm having conversations for the yes. Do you know how many people I called? And they're like, Sandee, Payne. I'm like, oh, I'm still in their phone. How are you? Good. How about you? Yeah, you guys are still living in the house, I see. Thank God you didn't list it. Because now it's worth $150,000 more, because this was like pre-COVID, like now their values are way up. I just wanted to reconnect. I don't know the last time anybody pulled an equity report for you, but I know I haven't, but I'd like to ask permission to start doing that for you. Oh my gosh, we would love that. Sometimes the conversation's not as hard. It's just like being human. So I challenge you guys to go back to your seller leads and just rip off the head of that bear. And just be like, I'm calling to apologize. What are you apologizing for? I didn't follow up with you. That's hard. That's not my job. My job is to follow up with you. My job is to take care of you. And I didn't do that, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry. And I want to just ask, is it okay if we're at a place that maybe I can pick up where we left off? Would it be okay if I were to offer you an equity report every year, or whatever the case may be? Then they go back in your database, re-tagged. They're a new person. You know who they are. They know who you are. You know their story. You've gotten permission to continue to follow up with them, so you're not bugging them. Now you build a relationship. And sooner than later, when they need a real estate agent, they will call you. Your phone will ring. You will not have to chase it. Dead files, past buyers. This is a good one. Past buyers of past listings. So we all sell houses. A new person comes in, and we go get another listing, but we know everything about that house that they just bought. We're expecting their realtor to keep up with them on their home purchase. How many of you contact the buyer of the house that you sold when you were the listing agent? Right? Opportunity. It's seeing the opportunities that aren't just the normal opportunities, because the leads are easy. They're right, they just bought a house. They are a homeowner that you know everything about. And you know about their house better than they do. Who better to keep in touch with them on their house and their value, so that then when they want to sell, they call you. You sold it to us, now you sell it for me. They're coming to you. You're not chasing them. Non-occupied owners love these. Investors love these. If you don't like people, it's a good one for you. Okay, because they don't really care about you either. They just want to know about how much their house is worth, right? So any of your investors who have, all those rental properties, keeping up with their equity reports, and those types of things. Expireds, withdrawals, love those too. Anybody love doing expireds? I have the best expired campaign. It's a whole nother class. So whoever's in charge of this, let's do a Zoom. And do you all get expired listings? Opportunities are there, right? Houses expire. Yeah? Okay. Let's do another Zoom, whoever, and I will share with you my entire expired listing campaign. It will blow your minds. It'll blow your minds. And you see the rest. Here's the thing. Did I have an expired campaign when I took this challenge? No. Was I getting in touch with the buyers of the listings that I had sold? No. I had to actually look at every one of these and say, how can I build this? I thought I was great. I thought I was doing really good until I had to actually look at my business. So you have to look at your business. These are the lead gen sources that I ran for 10 months. The funnels and nurtures, you have to know the timelines. You have to vary the sources of the way you communicate with people. So I say this for an example. When you get a new lead, how many of you just dial them in a dialer? Anybody use a dialer? Who picks up their phone? You told me you didn't pick up your phone, so I'm going for dialer. Okay, pick up your phone, you leave call. This is Sandee, I'm with whatever, source of the lead, and you leave a voice message. How many of you leave voice messages? Okay, how many of you hang up and send a video message that said the same thing your voice message said? How many of you send an email with the same thing that you said in your video and your voicemail? How many of you take that video that you sent to their phone and then email that also? Do you actually want to talk to them? Are you going to just keep chasing them, or do you want them to call you back? Lead generation's easy. We suck. We're making it really hard. I don't know their age. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're working and they can't answer the phone. I don't know. So I'm going to hit them from every angle. Because if they're working, they're on their email. You know they're checking their email at work. If they're where they can have a lunch break, they're going to watch the video. Okay, I need to reach them fast. Speed to lead. It's not speed to dial, it's speed to the lead. The point is getting in touch with the lead. Any way possible. Don't go to their house right away. Don't show up at their office. There are some I'll call them boundaries. Right. Could be breaking some rules. But our job is to speed to lead. That is to get in touch with them any way we can, as fast as we can. Because if you're not doing it, I am. Someone else is. You have to be prepared with your scripts. Have an idea of what to say, just one idea. You know their address, look it up real quick. Look at the history, right? Did anybody remodel? Like what happened? How long have they owned it? Just like find something to say when they answer the phone. Okay? Be prepared. Plenty of materials. This is another thing I see a lot of agents do, like, oh, I want to run these campaigns, but oh shit, I'm out of stamps. And I got to go to the squirrel. Yeah. While I'm at the post office, let me run to Target, get a Starbucks real quick. Right? And while I'm there, right, and we never make it back to actually mail the letter. Because we're just like, while I'm out. Because I love a good itinerary map. Anybody do showings and they're like, they map it out so you're not like crisscrossing. You're like, yeah, you should be doing that with your buyers, like map it. You have to map your day. Always, like I take an inventory every Friday afternoon of all of my materials. Do I have enough envelopes? Do I have enough paper? Have I printed out enough letters? Do I have the right postage? Do I have address labels printed out? If not, I'm ordering them on Amazon or preparing them because Monday's going to come and I don't want any excuses to not send that letter or not pick up that phone. Okay? So we have to take an inventory of what we have. Budget your expenses, of course, please. If you don't have the money to do it, you just have to spend the time, the physical energy before you can write the check, right, to do it. And you cannot miss a day because there's something in this business called compounding. Compounding interest, you might have heard of that. Compounding workload. And I want to almost like shift you back to the KPI thing because if you don't know how many conversations it takes to get an appointment, let's just say you learn, because you start tracking, that you need to have 20 conversations to 20 conversations. That's not dials, it's conversations to get a listing appointment. Hopefully over time and skill set, that number will start to shrink a little bit. But if I can get 5 people on the phone, I know I can set an appointment. One of them will set an appointment immediately. But if I don't have those 5 conversations Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, that's 15 conversations. Today's Thursday. That's compounding very quickly. It almost makes it impossible. If I didn't get 2 to 3 listings signed every single week for the next 10 months, it would have been impossible to get 100 very quickly. Because those 2 that didn't happen this week, they go into the bank. They go into the bank. They go into the bank for 10 months. Now you're at month 9 and you need to set how many appointments a week? Like, it's impossible. 75 appointments you need to set in the week. Like, that's ridiculous. Because we're not focusing on what we need to do today and we can't get that time back. So we get to the point where we're just like, I'll just change my goals. I'll just adjust my goals. Why don't you adjust your business to meet the goals? We're going into June. You're going to do vision boards in June. That's cool. It's cool. It's a cool time to do it. And then you're probably going to have a one-on-one with your team lead and re-look at your goals for the second half of the year. Up those. Up them. Up your goals. Hold yourself accountable. Change your standard. Don't lower your goals. Ever, ever, ever lower your goals. And don't miss a day. Now, if you plan your day, plan a vacation, miss the day, okay? Be present with your family. This isn't about the grind and the hustle and letting everything else go and burning out. I had the best year of my life that year. went on vacations. I blocked things on my calendar. I was present. When I wasn't present with my family and I was present in my business, man, I was present like no one else. It's not about working harder. It's about working. Just do the work that we're not doing. Did y'all get a picture of that? Okay. So when you're looking at all these activities to create listings, I try to categorize them. There's different activities. So we have seller exposure activities like an open house, right? Like, so you have to exposure. So you want to get in front of sellers any way that you can. Okay, so you have the seller exposure. You have the trust leverage. These are the people, your sphere. They already know you. They already like you. They probably already trust you. So you've got to have those local conversations, those sphere conversations, those referral agent conversations, building those relationships, because the trust is like right there, first and foremost. It's the hardest thing to get. So lean into the trust you already have, leverage that. Oops, typo, sorry. Local authority. This is knowing your market. Like knowing your market. I have guests that come to visit me and I'm driving them around. And I'm like, I sold a house on that street. Sold a house on that street. Sold a house on that. Anybody else do that? I sold a house over there. Oh, I sold that one. Got a buyer for that one. Right? Or you meet someone and you're like, oh, where do you live? They're like, oh, I live in Harker Heights. You're like, what? Where? Where? Like, that's broad to me. Where in Harker Heights? Oh, I live by the school. What street? Now I start to get creepy. Yeah. I'm like, what street? And they give me a street name. I'm like, oh, what's the house number? Oh, the 2-story with the pink door. Yeah, I love that house. You have to know your market. Do you drive around your market? Or are you only driving when you're showing houses? Do you know every subdivision? All of the restrictions, the HOA fees, what's included, who's in charge, the hours of the pool, what you can and cannot do? Even if you've never sold a home in that neighborhood. Are you the local expert? And if you are you sharing that local expertise? Or are you hiding? Are we a secret agent? Right? This is not the industry to be secret. So have a local authority. Even beyond houses, know what developments are coming. This town, it has to be new. Like a newer establishing area. Every road is like perfectly paved. Like there's no cars. Like no one's around. Like this has to be new and developing, all the new subdivisions coming up. Do you know what's coming? If you have somebody who wants to be by a golf course and you're like over here, but do you know that there's one being developed in the next 3 years over there? So maybe they can get in on a low end of a new development before this golf course even comes. Do you know what's happening in your town? Are you involved in your town hall meetings in your city? I wouldn't say local government necessarily, but enough to know that you can speak with authority about the areas that people want to live in. And then you have to have a conversion engine. This is your systems, your processes, your KPIs, keeping track of all the data, knowing who to follow up with when. So just imagine, for 10 months, I'm working these 10 pillars, and I have letters going out to people, I got calls I have to make, I've got like, everybody's got like their thing. How on earth do you keep track of it all? Did I send them that letter? Did I make that phone call? I have no idea. See, the lead was easy. Our problem is in the follow-up and the nurture. We don't have systems in place. And I didn't have AI 4 years ago. So now I have no excuse. Hey, I need a follow-up system for open houses that would include a call, a video, an email. Please help me with the script, the words, the cadence, the social media. In like a minute, you can have a whole SOP built out. Like, you don't have to recreate this stuff. 10 billion users in AI have already created it. You could probably go, it'd be a fun test. I have to get somebody to test it. You could probably go in and ask ChatGPT for mine. Because I've loaded so much in ChatGPT that it would probably give you mine. You're free to have that, by all means. But you have to have some type of conversion engine, some type of task management system. You know your CRM does that. It does more than just hold information. It actually helps you. Follow-up Boss, everybody like Follow-up Boss user, most of you, Lofty, Sierra, they all do it. Unless you just have a spreadsheet. That could do it too. It's a little more manual. Okay, so you have to keep track. So now what happens is every lead that comes in, it goes into my Follow-up Boss, it's tagged and categorized, automatically set into an action plan because I've got all of those things happening for every lead source that comes in. And on the tasks that I need, when I need to make the call, like when I need to be the physical voice manual person, because a lot of those things you can automate, it can send emails out like on your behalf. When it needs to be my face or my name, I get up every morning, I go to tasks and Follow-up Boss, there's everything I need to do. I need to mail you a letter, I need to call you, I need to send you a voicemail, I need to send you letter number 4 of the expired campaign. It tells me exactly what I need to do. Takes me about an hour every morning. Every single lead is followed up with the exact task where they came from, exact steps that they need to do. That's a conversion engine. And it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Now I can go get coffee with my friends. I can come to an event. And I know that my money-making activities of conversion have already happened. And I can enjoy the rest of my day. Or grow. Do other things. Grow more things, right? So these are the activities, if I were to like bundle them together through all of the different lead sources that I found and measured, these were the 4, like you've got to have these things in order to carry the load. These are some examples. I'm not doing all 10 pillars, okay? But I just want to talk about a few that I think most people do and you probably can use right away. So your sphere. Your sphere is who? People you know. I like to say, or people who know me that I don't know yet. Okay? So your sphere is, and it's an identity. You exist in the same world and you know it. Okay? With your sphere, I'm sorry to say a weekly newsletter, is this sound okay? I just want to make, okay. A weekly newsletter that you send blast to everyone is not the way you treat your sphere. Especially if a VA is doing it, automated, off of some news clip they found online. Your sphere are people that you love, that know who you are, that want to do business with you. They may not know it yet, but you're going to convince them of that. You're going to help them learn that you are their realtor of choice. They are in your sphere. They are in your circle. Circle of trust. That phrase is there for a reason, right? We all have a boundary. And when you step into someone's boundary line, everything changes. Treat them like they're in your circle. Not that they're outside of your circle. That newsletter, you're treating them like they're outside of your circle. And you're just throwing something at them. It's not even a lasso. Like you're not even like, or a fishing line. Like you're just tossing the bait out the boat with no reel. When you work with your sphere, you're carefully putting the exact bait. You're aiming it into that exact spot of the water. And when it catches, you're nurturing them in. You're reeling them in, slowly, comfortably, until they're in the boat with you. This is personal messages on their birthday. This isn't a note card service that hand signs a card that mails on your behalf on their birthday. This is a personal video text to their phone, from your phone, not bomb or whatever, no link, and you say their name. We have all gotten birthday videos who are like, just me wishing you a happy birthday. I'm like, you don't even know my name. But when someone says, hey, Sandee, They made this for me. It feels different. When you actually write a handwritten note with like a pen and you mail it to someone and like write their name on the envelope like with a pen, that is the first thing they're grabbing out of the mailbox. When you go to get your mail, I don't know if you're like me, but I go, and anything that looks like an invitation or a wedding invitation or something like that, handwritten, right? It's a crispy envelope. Not a white envelope with a clear plastic window through it, right? I'm looking for the fun stamp. Everything we deliver to a mailbox should feel like that. Everything. Everything. Put the white envelope people out of business. Pink, green, brand, whatever, doesn't matter. Handwrite. But my handwriting. It's your handwriting, it's you. Just make sure the postman can read it so it gets there, right? We all know how to write. Maybe the skill is penmanship. Maybe that's a skill you need to learn, is practice your writing so that you can handwrite note cards. Because a lot of times we're sending out quantity. Oh, I send out 20,000 mailers. Do you send them out? Do you personally send them out? Like, that doesn't impress me. I send out 2 and my phone rings. I don't need to send 20,000. We're making ourselves work harder and we're wasting a lot of money on doing the generic thing that everyone else is doing. And that's the mirror. You're just like everyone else. You are not like everyone else. Every one of you is unique and different and has a personality and a look and a vibe. Or not. But there's people that don't have vibes that are your people. Okay? You can't be everything to everyone. We've heard that. You can't be so sending out blanket bulk stuff is not working. It's not working. Everybody agree it's not working? Okay. Weekly cadence, monthly cadence, quarterly cadence, and annual cadences. So this is just, I'm not going to read them. This is what they are. But you can see every one of those is quite personal. There's nothing generic about any of those things on the list. But that takes a lot of time. Yeah, but when you only have to do 5, because it actually lands and your phone rings, it doesn't take that much time. Open house follow-up for my open house group back there. Before you leave the open house, do you send a personal video message to every single person by name that came to your open house, thanking them for coming to the open house? A TikTok. It's like,
When no one shows up and you get 200-300 views, that's 200-300 people that saw the house.
when no one showed. But nobody knows that nobody showed up, right? That's what social media is for. You can make like that. They missed a party of the block. Even AI, add people in the house if you want to, even if nobody showed up. But for the people who did show up, right, that's the false reality. I promise you, the people that you follow that look like that, that's not their real life. You know what their real life is? People sitting like you, right in this chair. They may look great there, but they're sitting at home trying to figure this out just like you are. So imposter syndrome, do what you want, but don't believe it. Okay? But do you actually pick up the phone and send a video text in the kitchen of the open house they just came to?
Yes.
Okay. And then nothing else, probably. Okay? Value add follow-up. Hey, I was thinking about you. I know you're at the open house. This wasn't the house for you, but I actually took some time and I pulled together a list of the other houses like this one in the neighborhood that the same criteria. I thought I would offer that to you. If the criteria is different, and I haven't set you up for a search in the right criteria, please let me know so I can make that adjustment. I want to make sure I'm giving you the information that you want. That's day 2 value. They still remember you, provided you met them, you greeted them, you got their information at the open house. I'm just going to assume that's happening. I actually went to an open house one time. Agent didn't know me. She just didn't know I was a real estate agent. Never asked my name. Never asked me to sign in. See, we all think it's awkward. Oh, I don't want to bother them, ask them for their information. They're expecting you. They're at an open house. What's weird is you didn't. They're getting in the car and they're saying, that's really weird. We didn't have to sign in. How's she going to call us? How's she going to follow up with us? We didn't even have to give her our information. That was weird. See, we think it's awkward to ask for information in an environment where it's expected. So just ask for their information. Hey, can I have you sign in? We put these weird challenges around ourselves because we don't want to be that person. Just ask for the information, okay? Make it easy. Get their info because you need it, because you're going to send them a video message. You need their information, or you can't do what you told your seller you were going to do. Because I told my seller after every open house, before I leave the house, I'm going to contact every single person that came in the open house. I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to add them value on day 2. I'm going to nurture them. If this isn't the house for them, I'm going to find them another one, but I'm going to try to get them to buy this one. I made that promise to my seller. And now your seller messages you 30 minutes after the open. How'd the open house go? Oh, we had 16 people. Great. But I didn't get any of their information. Now you broke a promise to your seller. But if you have a system in place and you can actually show your seller what you're going to do and then you do it, now you're building trust. And then you follow up with your seller in 2 days. Okay, I just want to let you know I contacted all 16 people. 3 of them, this is the right criteria, not the right house. 2 of them might have an interest, but they have a real estate agent. And there's one that had an interest. Timeline's a little off, so I'm going to keep up with them. Do you think you'd want to offer them a lower price? See if we can get them. That's the follow-up for a seller after an open house. Oh, and here, by the way, also CC'd on the email is the emails that you're sending to the clients. So your seller can see you doing what you say you're going to do. So when I'm in a listing appointment and I'm sharing this is what I do, I don't do professional photography. I have a strategy. I have an action plan. I have a game plan. I present it, and I honor it. And they're just going, yep, she said that's what she was going to do. She's doing what she said she's going to do. So when I have to have the conversations with my sellers about why we need to lower the price or whatever the conversation needs to be had, we have data. I have KPIs. I've done the work. I've kept track of everything that I've done, and I can say based on the last 3 open houses that we did and the 37 people who came through and the blah, 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 I think it's time for us to lower the price. This is the feedback. Let's repair that. Let's whatever the case may be. Okay? 5-day conversation connect. So this is again for the open house people, 5 days. Hey, just wanted to give you a quick call. You're still on my mind. We're actually having another open house. We're going to sell the house this weekend, though. I want you to all stop saying you're going to host an open house on your social media. Your social media for an open house, just say, hi, this is Sandee Payne. I'm standing on 123 Main Street. We are going to sell this house right here this Saturday between 2 and 4. If you're hosting an open house, you're bussing tables, you're taking out the trash. If you're a host, if you've hosted a party or hosted an event, you're not the one enjoying the time, you're the workhorse. But what you're supposed to be doing the open house for is to sell the house. So we are going to be selling this house this weekend between 2 and 4. If you're interested in making a purchase, get here. And then you're door knocking. I know we've got the house for sale across the street. I just want to let you know we're going to be selling it on Thursday. We're going to have a lunch open house between 11 and 1. We're going to be serving lunch, but we're going to be selling that house. So if you're around and you want to just come over and check out the neighbor's house, we'd love to have that. Now that seller, that's how I'm fishing for sellers. I'm looking for sellers. It's your language. It's the words you use. So have that conversation with the people, and then of course put them on a long-term nurture. Hopefully you'd have a system that you now say, hey, these are the updated, here are new houses in that neighborhood, here's new, because now you've gotten their information, you know their criteria, you now have them on a campaign where you're sending them all the new listings that meet their criteria. Now you have a beautiful prospected buyer who, guess what, came to you. You didn't have to chase them down. They came to you, and you're providing value. And when we give people something, what's the natural thing? Reciprocation. They give something back. You make a deposit, they come back. Deposit, come back. And now you've gained a buyer client. Most of you will stop nurturing right before you start building that trust. It's not working, they're not calling me back. I'm like, because you just haven't made enough deposits. So keep going until they die. Okay? I'm just saying, like, don't stop. We're all stopping way too soon. Way too soon. Do you know when you know you're going to sell your house? Like a year before you're going to sell it. You didn't wake up today and be like, I think I'm going to sell my house tomorrow. They know it's happening. It's in their brain. You know, I say I live in my forever house. Unless, right? It's forever for now. Unless my circumstance changes and I have to move, then I'm a seller. Everyone's a seller. Our job is to get in and be there when they realize that for themselves. Okay? Social media, this is a fun one. I love being fun on social media. If you're not following me, I'll have a QR code later. I think actually some of you started following me just from the invite. Some of your faces are familiar. Social media that actually converts. Social media is fun, it's great, put it all out there, but I want to speak on it like a listing agent. Okay, not just any social media. As a listing agent, we have to be showing credibility. How do we show credibility? By knowing our neighborhood, knowing our stats, not being a secret agent, right? To show we're credible, show what we're doing, not just the picture at the title company with the key. That doesn't tell the story. That doesn't show the work. That doesn't show the strategy that the seller was checking off because you were going through the process. So show your credibility by showing behind the scenes. Have a connection. So we always want to talk about stories. People connect with stories. Oh my gosh, I had a seller just like you once. Right? You remind me of. Right? They want to feel like they're connected to someone else's story. So have a connection, tell the story. I did a post not long ago, and I had the first couple minutes of the video, and I said, do you remember this one, 278 days on the market? And we finally got it sold. And here's what happened in the 278 days. We did the open houses and nobody came. I told the story. And then you want to have those conversations, call to actions, invitations. We don't ask for the business. We don't ask for it because we don't want to be that realtor. Well, I have news for you. Nobody's asking them, so ask them. Hey, I just want to know, if you ever think of selling, I'd love to be your realtor of choice. Have I earned that? Have I earned that position in your life? And they're like, you know what? No, I don't know. Okay, what is it that I can help provide for you that I can earn that spot? Because I want to be your go-to, and I want to be your friend's go-to. And they're going to tell you, you're not chasing, you're not throwing a bunch of information wondering if that's the thing. They're going to tell you, yeah, you know what would be helpful? I need to protest my taxes this year. Do you think you could help me with some comps to be able to do that? Absolutely. We're not asking what our clients want from us. So we're just hoping that it's connecting with someone. So make sure you're very specific in the conversation. Call, ask. Is anyone get their tax? Everybody just got their tax bills here, yeah? Good news, bad news? Depends if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, if you don't want to sell, right? This is a hot time. Everybody gets their tax bills. Why would you not reach out to every single person that ever bought a house, period, that ever bought a house, and ask them how they feel about their taxes, and let them know that you're a real estate agent and you're happy to provide them with a comp if they'd like to protest. Or you have a tax protest friend vendor that you can push, hand them off to. Hey, I love that. I've got a great friend, Bob. He does this for a living. Is it okay that I get you guys connected? And then you send a group text. Bob, let me introduce you to Pat. Pat just got her tax bill. Bob, you can help her. If you need comps, I'm your girl. Connect. Connections, connections, connections. Not let me send you a link. Right? And then you follow up. See, everything's in the follow-up. Hey, Bob, did you get a hold of Pat? Great, you guys are good. Did she win her taxes? Great. Hey, Pat, Bob just let me know that you guys protested and you were able to get your house down by 10%. Congrats. Love that for you. Let's talk about it again next year if you don't like that number again. Oh, and in the meantime, would it be okay if I sent you an equity report? Now that you know the values of your house, because we just did a comp. So now they know the value of their house if they were to sell. And let you know, because if you're ever thinking of selling, I'd love to let you know when the sweet spot to sell is, when the numbers are at their highest. And then you continue the cycle. See where we're going with this? Who wants to quit real estate today? No quitters. I love that. I love that. I want to pivot because now you're like, okay, this is all great. The follow-up is all great, but now I have the listing appointment, and this is where my tough spot is. Okay? The listing appointment starts before you get to the door. The appointment starts the minute you get the lead. Not the minute you set the appointment. The minute you get the lead for a listing, you are on. Like you are their listing agent, they just haven't signed yet. You're just not there yet. But you are their agent. You have to own that lead. They're only a lead, in my mind. I don't care about what the technical term is. The lead is only a lead until you dial that phone the first time. They are then a prospect. They are then a future client. We leave them in new lead category until they do something. The minute you communicate with them, something's done, they need to be moving into a prospect. You need to be acting like their real estate agent. Even if they're not quite there, they called, it's a lead. So as soon as you get that information, you want to be doing the research. Now this isn't just research on the house, this is research on them. Where do they work? How old are they? Do they have dogs? Do they golf? Do they like cars? LinkedIn is brilliant for that. If the data in your CRM is accurate, Follow Up Boss, there's a feature that you can pull their socials. Find them on Facebook, find them on social media, find them on TikTok. Find them. You need ammunition because you're about to pick up the phone and be their BFF. And if you sound like every other real estate agent calling a lead, that's why it's not working. We need to know everything we can, know the history of the house, what remodels happened. You're only going to know what you know, right? But find everything that you can. Then you pick up the phone. I understand there's speed to lead, but there's also speed to lead with context. Because it's not just picking up the phone. That's only the first step. The next is setting the appointment. Okay? Professionals don't show up hoping to impress. We have to show up preparing to lead them through the home selling journey. From go. Not like, I'm not doing any of that till they sign. I'm not gatekeeping all the good stuff. The good stuff is what's going to get them to sign with confidence, without asking you to reduce your commission or prove yourself, because you're going to prove it from the minute you get that lead. By doing that, we're going to remove objections. Sorry, I should have said sellers. I don't know why it says buyers. Brain. We're going to remove any objections. So we all have those sellers that they'll call you and say, hey, how was the feedback? Like they're calling you for updates. We always have to be one step ahead of them. Because to us, our lives are busy. I don't know what we're doing, but our lives are busy because we're not calling our prospects to get listing appointments, but our lives are busy, right? They're sitting in silence. They just filled something out, and they're sitting there waiting in silence for their phone to ring, for someone to call them about selling their house. And we're just doing whatever we're doing, and we're not putting ourselves in the place of that seller. So if you're prepared and you have all this information, when you pick up the phone, you can actually speak with them. We don't have to deal with the objections because they're not even going to ask. They're not going to ask about your commission because you're already earning it more than anyone else has earned it. I've never been asked to lower my commission, ever, ever, ever. If anything, I should be charging more, honestly. So I am the discount agent because you're getting a heck of a lot more for the same that you're paying anybody else. We're going to anticipate. We're going to solve proactively. There's no friction because we're going to be so dialed in with our strategy. And with that comes confidence. There's no reason for them to start questioning you. Any of us ever asked on a listing appointment, do you have any other questions? Should I have more questions? That wasn't everything. She didn't tell me everything. I'm supposed to be asking more questions. What am I supposed to ask? No, I don't have any more questions. Okay, you ready to sign? No, because I think I have some more questions. I just don't know. I'm going to pray about it. We're going to sleep on it. We've opened the door for them to say, okay, you haven't given me everything. Now I'm supposed to be asking first. There's more? Well, what it sounds like to me is that in order to get this party started, we need to sign some paperwork. I'll go first. Physical paper in your hand with a pen, not pre-signed and pre-dated. Fill out what you need to fill out, right? Information, legal description, whatever. Because that reciprocity comes back into play. When you sit down and you sign page 1 or initial page 1 or whatever you do here, and you slide it to them, and they look, because here's the thing, if divorces were easy, everybody would do them. I'm saying this for a reason, because what's the hardest part? Anybody divorced? Okay, these are not proud divorce hands. Who's divorced? Okay, the hardest part was signing, yes? Why? The physical signing, not notary, not DocuSign. Because if we could DocuSign divorce, it'd be a whole different ballgame. The hardest part is the pen to paper commitment of it happening. If you can get them to put the pen on the paper, you are in. You're in. I initial, you initial. Not let me go through the whole thing and then we'll go back and sign it all. No. That first page needs to be initialed. And then the second page. And then the third page. Back, forth. Maybe I sign, you sign, I sign, you sign, I sign, you sign. Winning! And everybody feels good. Great. Now, I will say, I only take the contract. I don't worry about all the disclosures because you could be there for a long time explaining all that. But I want that initial listing commitment. Then I say, great, now that we have this, we're going to go ahead and get you the rest of the documents. There's some disclosure about the sewer, things like that. We're just going to send those through DocuSign. They're pretty simple. You know, this is what we needed to cover today in order to make this commitment together. Confidence. It's scary to be like, okay, I sign, you sign, yay. Right? But I am so confident from the time they picked up the phone and started with that lead, I was their real estate agent. I was their listing agent. So by the time that paper came out, there was nothing to talk about. There was nothing to talk about. Like, we were ready to get this going. No objections. If you're prepared, there's no objections. The market sets the value. We're the ones who get to influence the perception. We get to influence what it's going to be like working with us. We can't make up a number, $95,000. We're not making stuff up and hoping. We come with the data. The data sets the value. We influence the experience by preparing, by telling stories, by making them feel connected. By talking them through how the presentation of their home and some type of staging conversation. We share the data clearly and easily, and we don't overdo. We cannot overwhelm them. If you start explaining all the data, they're like, this is we're starting these objections. The confidence says, I've ran the numbers, this is what it says, this is the suggested list price, this is the estimated days on market. Good? Good. You're the professional. What do you think what do you think your house would sell for? They're not a for sale by owner. If they knew how to do this, they would be doing it. They don't know, that's why you're there. Our words, we're talking ourselves right out of the yes a lot of times. And how do I know this? Because I did that. And I'm like, well, that didn't work. And then I evaluated, and I recorded my listing presentations. Record yourselves with your clients. It's frightening. Now with AI, record yourself with your client, upload it into GPT, something or other, say, give me the notes on my thing, and oh, by the way, can you draft the follow-up email with all the next steps, everything we talked about, summarize it, and send it to your client by that night. Hey, I know that was a lot that we covered. I'm just going to draft you a quick email with updates, next steps, so we're all on the same page. AI. Rock star. You guys would look amazing. Launch strategy. What's your average days on market?
17.
Oh my God. I'm coming to California. I have all the reasons. You just give me like my 10-minute something. I just want to make sure. Oh, we're almost at noon. I'm there. Okay. You actually have to run a campaign to sell the house, not just launch a listing. We are marketers. Once we have that listing agreement signed and we go on the market, our job is to procure the buyer. Our job is to market the home to prospective buyers. We have a job to do. A lot of us it's going to go on the MLS and be like syndicated out there, and now I'll just wait. Market. You have to have a campaign, you have to have a strategy, and it has to be different for every single person. I have 4 varieties of my listing presentation. I have one that's charts and graphs and numbers for that person, whatever that disc assessment is. I have one that's just colorful and pretty and all the pictures for that person. But I know who I'm walking into because, see, when I picked up that phone the first time, I established who was on the other end. When I had that conversation, I asked the questions to find out who am I talking to. When I know that they're in biotech, they're a chart guy or girl. When I knew what they do for a living, what they do they have kids, how do they dress? I know you would want all the pictures. She wants all the pretty. What's it gonna look like? How's it gonna print? What video? All the things. Numbers, she probably wants to know the number, but in her mind, in winning her, I have to give her what she wants, the way she likes information. And then you have to have a strategy around each of those. The first 72 hours creates the momentum when you put a house on the market. Momentum is not accidental. Posting that video on social media and stalking it to see if it goes viral, that's accidental. If something just hits, it's accidental. But momentum you can manufacture. You can actually create the movement. You create the eyes onto the house. Now this probably won't work in California, so use the flexibility of the calendar. When I put a house on the market, we pre-position it with the first open house. 2 weeks, I know. 2 weeks after we go on the market. Now, the market shifts, and when we had COVID and everybody was like, adjust, okay? The context is what's important here. I need a runway to market the property. And what am I marketing for? I'm marketing for the open house, the day we're gonna sell the house. That's what I'm marketing for, that event. The event is the open house where we will sell this house. Now, I might have a buyer who wants to get in before the party. Great. I'm showing the house, like it's on the market, but I need something to market, not just, we just listed a house. That only happens, like that's 1 minute in the movement, in the momentum. We listed the house, congratulations. 3 days later, we just listed it. No, you didn't, you did that 3 days ago. What's the next thing? What are we aiming for? We're aiming for an open house event. So whether it be a week, whether it be 2 weeks, whatever you want to cadence, everything that you're doing should be, hey, we're going to sell this house on Saturday. Here's a picture of me in front of the house. Come out on Saturday. We're going to sell this house. Oh, by the way, knock on the neighbors. Here's an invitation to the day that we're going to sell this house. Circle prospecting. Hey, just want to know if you're going to come to our house selling party. We're going to sell the house on Saturday between 2 and 4. I'd love for you to come. It's an event. You're not hosting an open house. Okay? You can imagine what all that is. Do all the things, just do them towards an event. If this event, they only posted it on the day that we talked about it and put it on the calendar, none of you would probably be here. What did they do? They marketed to today. They kept marketing about today. I'm coming today. We're talking about this on this day. They marketed you to something, and you all showed up to get what we were doing. Think about that in marketing. As a listing agent, we're marketers, and we have to be marketing towards something. Okay? Silence creates anxiety. Communication creates confidence. This is where we talked a little bit about already, so I won't go into that. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You're busy. It's quiet where they are. You cannot over-communicate with your sellers. They might say, like, you don't need to call me every day. You probably don't need to call them every day. But have something, hey, on Monday, this is what you're going to get. On Wednesday, this is what we're going to send you, and then on Friday, we'll follow up with the week. Monday, we'll let you know the feedback from, like, just have a plan and stick to the plan so they're not wondering. They know, oh, I'm not worried about it. She's going to send us that tomorrow, and they can carry on. Your current habits are producing your life. You can screenshot this and me at the same time. Okay. These are things that you want to start doing. This is the habits. This is the shift. This is the change. This is the you, the mirror, the identity. One more time. I know. I try not to put that many words, but these are important, so you can screenshot them. We'll just touch on a couple. There's things that you need to start doing to be a high-performing listing agent. There's things you need to stop doing. And that list is a little longer, and that's terrible. These are mine. You can adopt any of these that you want. Okay? But I noticed there were a lot of things I was doing that my minutes were, when I had kind of grasped this, like I can't get that time back, that minute back, I was wasting a lot of time that could have been used better, either on myself, with my family, in my business. Okay, that's basically what this last one is. The bottom one right there, excuses. Let's not have them. I didn't write the word. But we're not. An excuse is your doubt. An excuse is your push off as to why you don't want to change. I can't do that because you don't want to, or you don't want to have to become a new version of yourself in order to, because it's too painful, it's too hard. Maybe you have to cut people out of your life. Hopefully not your partner or your children. Maybe you do. I did it. That's me on the stage getting my big $10,000 check. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna brag. I had such momentum going with the system. I actually did 103. So that was the check. I imagined that day with my husband. I sat down. I said, I can see it right now. I'm going to be on the stage. And the dollar bills are going to be falling. I'm going to get that big charity check. Like, I envisioned that moment because it is possible. It was going to happen. These numbers are going to blow your mind. This is what it looked like when it was all said and done. Yeah. I was very happy to have that and changed my life and my business and the way I operate. These are some best practices. You can take this. Grow when you need to grow. Do the things you already know how to do. You're not recreating the wheel. You know what you need to do. You just have to do it. Do enough before you get to the kitchen table so they've already decided to work with you before you even show up. They will not cancel on you. You can even offer to cancel their other appointments if you want. I've done that. Since we're signing today, I'm happy to call those other agents and let them off the hook, because that would be weird. Okay? You're not creating anything new, guys. You have the data, you have the power, you have AI, for heaven's sake. You just have to take the information and work it for you. I have a little end of story that I want to kind of end with. So I lost my mom about a week after I got that check. And back, like I had said, when I was younger, there was a moment in my life that was really difficult for my mom, my family. So I was home, at my mom's funeral and stuff, and my dad decided to go through some boxes and whatever. They're in New Jersey, so I kind of stuck around a little bit to help him. Came across an envelope and it had my name on it. Never opened. I knew what it was. It was a letter. And it said everything that I thought it was going to say, how disappointing it was, all the things that they wasted and time. And I always wondered why I felt like I had to keep proving myself. And it was that reason. It was that I'll show you. I can be anything, I can do anything, and I'm going to do it great. So I looked at that letter and I thought, oh, I hate this letter. I love this letter. It's actually what makes me emotional. I am so grateful for my life and every hard time, because it made me be who I am today. It wrote my story. It gave me the discipline. It gave me the willpower to show up different, the best version that I can be for myself and my family and my clients and everything that I do. So you're not alone. We all have stuff. We all have time, but it's what you do with that. It's what you do with those emotions. You can have them work for you, or you can keep using them against you and keep creating excuses. Because you get to design your life. You get to design the version of you that you want to become in this business and in your life. And you still get to write your story. Thank you. Thank you. There you can follow me. Thank you. If you're not already. I do actually coach on all the SOPs and systems and everything. I have a 10-month training academy where we dive into every lead pillar, every source, all the scripts, everything that you need, and we coach you through it with weekly calls. That's the link for that if you guys wanted to take yourselves to the next level. I don't know where that one goes, but that one goes specifically to the little training. Thank you all so much for coming. It was a pleasure.